we've been seeing so many sessions in the red. It's time to understand how must one navigate the market when you have a market that's largely falling. What are some trends that you should be spotting when everything is seeming downwards? And for that, to explain us all of that, we have Kunal who's joining us in the studio. Kunal, good morning. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So today's topic is how trends shape up when the downtrend begins for stocks or for indices. So I've taken two examples, one index and the other stock. So we'll look at the Nifty 50 chart and the two key moving averages which we can map up so that it helps to gauge the trend for the index. Now this is the charts for the Nifty 50 in the very recent past. We made a high of 26,000 levels. Post that we've been trending on the downward side. By that we generally indicate that the index or the asset class makes a formation of lower highs and lower lows. So in the previous attempts or the index moving up higher, we consistently made a lower high for the index, and the lows also have been on the downside for the index. Every subsequent fall the index had seen, there was a bounce, but then that led to a second round of correction for the indices. Critically, what happens is the point where the death crossover happens. We discussed this in the previous Paathshala also, that when the 50-day moving average crosses below the 200-day moving average, that's where the index, when it starts to move up higher, it starts to take resistance at this longer term or medium term moving average, and that acts as a resistance for the index. So every time the index goes into a bounce, it faces resistance over here and then comes down and then continues to trend on the lower side. We look at this in terms of another stock which was exhibiting a very similar kind of a pattern when the stock went into a downtrending mode. Tata Steel, the stock from 180-85 levels in mid of 2024 again went to a series of correction. Post the death crossover, you can see the moving averages trading on the downside. The stock had multiple phases of rallies, and that rally took resistance just at the 50-day moving average for the stock. But this time around, what you're seeing is a change of trend for the stock price. So that indicates that maybe you could be looking at an end of the downtrend for stocks. So this is a very classical kind of an indicator, as well as a visual interpretation of how trends shape up when the index or the asset class goes into a downtrending mode.
Absolutely, Kunal, point taken on that. But with that, after